Apa?
Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet? Are we live yet?
Are we really live? I feel underdressed. Yeah,
We are under. We are live. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Saya nak jodoh Coach Zuri Dwi bersama sahabat saya Din Osman. Dia sedang makan. Kunyah lu Din.
Kunyah.
Kunyah lu. Welcome. Okay.
Right. Happy to be here.
Are you really? Sorry, I notified you last minute sebab this thing just got to my attention about the date to marry is creepy. That's the topic. Halal versus creepy lah the topic kita malam ni. So before things spiral out of what? Spiral. Before things spiral like crazy, kita nak perjelaskan. Okay, kita nak perjelaskan. So what we're doing tonight, right now, is not to hentam anyone. Kita tak nak batu api. Kita nak people to stop batu api, insyaAllah, and give this guy benefit of the doubt. Alright, give this guy benefit of the doubt. So let me put it on screen.
Yeah. I also feel like I need to apologize or put a disclaimer because it was somewhat last minute. I sempat nak properly arrange my background or find a better place to do this. I don't have a fancy light changing disco thingy in my background like someone else, but you know, I do what I can. Right?
The effect of domestication for 400 days. My room became a Star Trek ship in the interior.
Right.
Okay.
No,
all right.
It's not good. Okay. Whatever. Okay. We're live. Just keep going.
Okay, we're live. Happy to see you again. Other than Dungeons and Dragons discussion. Assalamualaikum.
Don't know what that is.
What is that? What's Dungeons and Dragons? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. So disclaimer, kita start dulu. Niat kita malam ni adalah untuk perjelas because on this tweet kan, this tweet that was sent to me by one of my client, she's a sister, and she said that there's so many confusion going on, and I replied to her, their confusion is baffling. I'm baffled.
Their confusion is confusing.
Their confusion is confusing. Their bafflement is baffling. So kita nak perjelas. And bukan nak hentam, bukan nak batu api kan. And I try to look for the original post. Apa pasal kau nak batu api? Bukan nak batu api kan. I mean, our duty as Muslim is to unify, to clarify, and not to divide kan. And basically just to tell the truth. That's what dakwah is, to sharing the truth. And the truth is, where does truth come from? Quran and Sunnah. InsyaAllah we'll be sharing that. So also disclaimer, I am not an ustaz. Din is also not ustaz, kan? Nanti sebelum you tuduh kita orang, alah bajet ustaz konon janggut jemput je kan. So alright. So bajet alim lah. Okay, orang alim tak claim alim. Okay, memang kami tak alim pun, tak claim pun. We're just sharing from our experience as matchmaker kan. Din and I, we're the same team, Halal Speed Dating, bantu orang cari jodoh. And sebelum kahwin pun, we've gone to courses fiqh perkahwinan. Sebelum kahwin pun, sebelum ada jodoh pun, we went to khusus fiqh perkahwinan. Not the one yang mandated. We went to the mandated one, of course. Kan? When I went to mandated one, I tak ada calon. So, and
sebelum forever, pergi je.
Persediaan kan. How to be ready, you prepare. And we've gone to so many khusus fiqh perkahwinan, very technical stuff. So sharing from that and applying our experience, practical experience as matchmakers, we want to perjelas the issue supaya orang tak confused, tak terbatu api sama sendiri, tak tersesat, tak salah faham. And okay, so Bismillah. I tried to look for this original post from this guy. Tak ada. Perhaps he has more clarity, insyaAllah. And Ya, kalau ni jangan. so, so
There is a story.
So I mean, of course, adab menasihat is to empathize and to dengan lembut lah kan. Kalau harshness is actually, I was told, if nak nasihat tapi dengan kasar, which is actually counter dakwah. Betul tak? So lembut kan. I've seen so many scary videos orang tu nak nasihat, trying to shove the holy book down people's throat tapi dengan kasar. Like, no, that is actually counter dakwah when you try tak guna akhlak.
When you are forcing it and when you are rude, the message does not come across. Most likely it won't come across. Even if it does, it will take time for betul juga pakcik tu walaupun dia kurang ajar sikit tapi atau dia kasar sikit, actually betul lah juga. But still it wouldn't have an immediate positive impact.
True. Adab sangat penting kan. Akhlak, agama, iman, that's goes without saying, but it has to be said a lot. And adab nasihat kan. Would you want to share a bit about adab nasihat? Because my concern is kan, some people try to nasihat this guy but in a very harsh way. So how would you?
It's Twitter. What do you expect? I mean, come on. It's Twitter.
Kan, betul juga. But for the benefit of refresher, what is the adab nasihat? Contoh sunnah Nabi that Rasulullah SAW that people could try walaupun Twitter.
Bismillah. Well, when it comes to advising somebody, Rasulullah SAW was stern when he needed to be, but most of the time was gentle and was also in private. When he would advise people or he would criticize somebody, it was always in private. But whenever he praised someone, it was always in public. That's one way how that I take from the Sunnah that you can effectively get the message across. It's rather than straight away terus condemn the person, especially in public, macam like social media or even in person when you do it in public. And public does not mean like depan a whole crowd or anything like that. The public could even mean just in front of their close friends or their family, just in front of 3-4 people, right? So itu pun considered in public, meaning like you're criticizing him in public. So Rasulullah SAW never did that. Rasulullah SAW always advised, number one, with adab, with akhlaq, with a gentle approach, and he uses wisdom when he needs to go a bit harsh, for example. And secondly, again, as I mentioned, it's, to my knowledge, it's mostly in private, okay, or one-to-one, or in a very close or small group, for example. And again, he used his wisdom, his hikmah. Here, kalau nak apply to this situation, you would DM him and say, Assalamualaikum, it's good that you have, I respect your opinion, I know that's where you stand, but I just want to give you a bit of advice, blah 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 blah, and you sound very, you have to be polite, especially most likely these people don't know the guy in the first place. So yeah, I mean, that in terms of to answer your question, how to advise somebody, it should be in private and with adab and akhlaq.
And of course the purpose of that is untuk menjaga aib orang kan, aib muka.
Yes. Yeah. Of course, you don't want to, like I said lah, kalau you do it in public, you memalukan dia, and then when you are embarrassing him, lagilah the message won't go across. He would react to your method more than to your message.
Yeah. And it also could push that person away from the actual message.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So it does not help the situation at all.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Zuri. I have to please excuse me for a few seconds. I have a gorilla knocking on my door. He does
I
not want to
understand.
sleep. Please excuse me for a few seconds.
All right, understood.
Wait.
Sila sila. Okay. Stop cam, mute. Stop cam. Okay. All right, so they will be back. This is the reality of going live at home, from home. Okay. I'm sure if you follow me every time, every night, usually by 9:30 something, my daughter will be knocking on the door, will ask me to change the diaper. So yeah, same situation. All right, so this sister sent me a link to this apa nama, to this tweet. I'm rarely on Twitter, and and it was brought up to me, and the opinion that has been given and this thing has been shared, the concern that I have and the reason that I'm doing this with Brother Din is that takut ia memecah belahkan, mengconfusekan lagi mengenai perbezaan dating dan ta'aruf. So, Din, would you like to kick off? Apa beza Din? Apa beza Din?
Apa beza Din?
Apa beza Din dan Zuri?
Dengan Zuri. Okay.
Rambut, janggut dan berat. Apa beza?
Okay, senang.
Ini baru live lah. Kalau off screen, off camera, lain. Lagi lain.
Lagi havoc.
Lagi havoc. Alright, so apa beza dating dan ta'aruf?
dating dengan ta'aruf. Okay. First, ta'aruf. Ta'aruf is basically the period or the period of time that you get to know a person. When you meet somebody, get to know them. But in this context, when it comes to marriage, you're getting to know them to get married, right? Whether they're the right person or not. Dating does not have the main difference. Number one, dating does not have the end goal of marriage, right? Dating does not necessarily have an end goal, the end goal of marriage, and one person may realize that, the other person may not. You know what I mean? It's because one person may have this idea that we're just dating, we're just trying out, or I'm just getting to know you, like this brother right here. He just wants to he's attracted to you. That's I'll pick on that point. I'm attracted to you, and along the way I will decide to marry you or not. In essence, a ta'aruf is the same, but the decision to marry or not, or like I'm getting to know the person to get married, right? I hope the difference is clear. Like,
niat lah, niat.
Yeah, the niat. I want to get to know you, to know if you are suitable to be my spouse. Dating is I want to get to know you because I think we would fit together as a couple, right? There's in a way there's subtle differences, and also a major difference also would be the physical aspect of it. There's no physical contact in getting to know during the ta'aruf session. In dating, in conventional or is that right to say conventional?
Conventional versus Islamic.
Common knowledge or common perception of what is dating, right? Is that there is a physical interaction, even if it's just holding hands, for example. And yeah, in dating also, your parents does not necessarily know, right? During ta'aruf, your parents, especially the ladies' parents, should at least be aware that okay, my daughter is getting to know somebody. If it works out, alhamdulillah. If it doesn't work out, khair, inshallah, she can get to know another person. Perhaps the next one is more suitable. So yeah, and dating, of course, has more implications of that, other than what I've just mentioned. But in short, that's basically it.
Yeah, and I'm asking you to explain because they've heard my voice every night. So I want to change things up and ask you more questions like, apa salahnya dating, kan? date but tak nak kahwin, you know, what's wrong with that?
Dating tak nak kahwin. Okay.
Dating tak sure nak kahwin ke tak, tapi date je lah because ini awet ni hot, kan?
Okay. If you're just dating and you don't want to get married, yeah, that's your choice. Even if you date and you don't have physical contact, the parents know you are dating. In essence, it's very similar to the ta'aruf session. But you don't know, you haven't decided yet whether you're really going to get married or not. Or you even decided, you know what, we're just temporary. You're just my spare tire, right? I just want to, we just want to be with somebody around, or talk to somebody, or be close to somebody at the moment. But whether we get married or not, that's too much. It's too distant in the future. I'm not ready. It's 101 excuses. If you or both parties consent to that, I can't say anything. That's your own choice. But when you choose, the consequences, you are not the freedom to choose does not mean freedom of consequences. So consequences such as heartbreak, such as having a big amount of time invested in a relationship, at the end having nothing to gain, or having no conclusion or no objective. All you had was a nice bittersweet experience that might end up in good terms, but also might end up in a heartbreak. And personally speaking, I've been through that as well. Again, I don't want to portray myself as this super angelic being, or this ustad, that so-called ustad that never done anything wrong in my life. No. I've been there, done that. All right, where I thought we were going somewhere, and then at the end it just didn't happen. For what? Because then I realized that the initial objective, or the initial intention is wrong, or is not there. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Alah, nak dating ringan-ringan sikit tak boleh ke? Cik.
Nak dating ringan-ringan sikit. Okay,
ringan-ringan.
nak dating itu nak dating ringan-ringan. Okay, dating light versus heavy duty. Macam mana tu? Well, again, it's as I mentioned, if you date ringan-ringan and you still maintain social distancing and no physical distancing, and no, you don't get into any hanky-panky, and both parents are aware, and so on and so forth. If you do that and you still think that, you're just playing around, and you want to do that, you want to quote unquote waste your time, go ahead. Go ahead. Nobody can say anything.
You're asking them to go ahead then.
As I said, those disclaimers at the beginning, if you follow those physical distancing and the same rules which apply in ta'aruf, basically, right? If you follow all that, and then you still want to go without the objective or the intention to get married, right? I can't say any further. Like, okay, what can I say, right? The rest is up to you and your parents, the girl's parents especially. But if you are already intending, memang nak dating, right? The common knowledge of what dating implies, I can't really be specific because I have a 6-year-old within earshot at the moment. So I lost my train of thought. You want to do that, then of course we can say that is not acceptable by within Islam, and there are sins and punishment that apply, but that's it. So no, I'm not encouraging go. No, like, because you want to break it down, like what this guy is breaking down. Like, I want to date you to know you well because I'm attracted to you, and along the way I will decide to marry you or not. Marriage is a hell of a commitment. Yes, to have a goal towards someone new. Yes, it is. That is why that is what the ta'aruf is for. The ta'aruf session is for, to get to know the other person, to know whether you have the same goals or the same mindset, to form a commitment to each other or not, right? To get to know whether you guys fit for each other or not. And it's not a guarantee, yeah? It's not a guarantee that because you follow Islamic principles or Islamic guidelines when meeting somebody and getting married, does not protect you from divorce. Islam give us clear guidelines in terms of meeting someone, falling in love with someone, getting married to them, and staying married to them. And the last case scenario, if divorce is needed, Islam is very clear cut on the rules and the measures need to be taken if you need a divorce. It's not as simple as what people think, basically. But that's another topic.
That's not a topic.
So yeah.
So what are the benefits of this Islamic guideline in halal dating?
I'm sure you have covered this in your daily.
I do, but I think I have a lot of new viewers tonight because of this tweet. I've commented on that, and I think a lot of them joined in from there.
Great, welcome.
So yeah, let's cover the basics.
Okay, what are the benefits of having ta'aruf? First of all, when you are in ta'aruf, I don't know if you heard that. When you are in ta'aruf, first of all, your intentions to get married for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right?
Yes.
You are getting married, and you want to put the first step with the blessings of Allah. First. Second, how do you do that? You follow the rules and the guidelines that are set by the Quran and Sunnah. Okay? So you meet somebody, you know somebody, and in ta'aruf, the goal is clear. The goal is marriage, right? Not dating, not dating, not to play around, not to fool around, not to see if this person is right or wrong. I mean, yes. What I mean is, like, if just to test the flavor, that kind of thing, right? Just to
test drive.
Yeah, I hope you understand where I'm trying to frame it, because again, I have a 6-year-old within earshot, so I don't want to be very specific.
It's okay. Test drive is a vehicle term.
Yeah, you want to get your hands-on practical demonstration. If that's clear, right? That's out of the question within Islamic ta'aruf definition, and it protects both your hearts and your intentions, because the goal is clear. And even if you work hard in the ta'aruf to get to arrange and to work things out, if at the end of the day it doesn't work out, then you know, okay, maybe Allah is trying to protect you from something bad, or maybe Allah wants you to learn something from this experience to provide you with something better in the future. I took that as my own personal lesson of why or how certain relationships did not work the way I thought it worked, and how it worked out the way, or how it crashed the way it did, right?
I know, I was
how it
there.
ended the way it did, right? So I took that as a lesson for me. Like, okay, maybe Allah is trying to protect me from something bad, or having a bad relationship. So Allah has, alhamdulillah, granted me a happy marriage, and now happily married with 3 kids, and one of them does not want to sleep right now. So, yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Sorry. I kind of got off track a little bit.
2009, 2010. Anyway, continue.
yeah, I got off track a bit. So yeah, it protects you. Number one. Number I don't know what number
protects
now.
Your feelings, protects your dignity.
Exactly.
Protect your
For
time.
this is, yeah, protect your time, because you know some people, some people,
Some people.
some people wasted or invested a lot of time and effort, and I'm talking years, for a relationship, thinking that it will end up in marriage, but it just crashed and burned at the end because of certain reasons that I don't want to share right now. So yeah, um, so yeah, when after that I learned about the Islamic guidelines of ta'aruf and what you can or couldn't, can't do, what you shouldn't do, how you should approach things, how you should approach the other person, the parents, and so on. Then even then, I still struggled. I still had um, certain bad habits that you can't throw out, right? But along the way, still managed to learn and practice. Alhamdulillah. What
But
else?
the
What else is
struggle was
the
definitely a
benefits?
lot less drama,
Oh
less
yeah,
anxiety, and
yeah, and
uncertainty.
mm, and you just you understand that this is not going to work out. Okay, end it, move on. You don't waste your time, you don't waste your energy, you don't waste your effort and emotions, because once you get emotionally involved, like deeply emotionally involved, then it's even harder to get emotionally uninvolved. You know what I mean? But yeah, what else? What else? Other benefits?
And what about the trauma of dating and kecundang? Kecundang dating.
Kecundang. Sorry,
Kecundang, you
Najian
know.
kadang-kadang karat ya. Kecundang tu macam mana?
Kecundang. Kecundang tu dia macam kecundang macam trauma of heartbreaks, breakups, you know. Uh, how does that affect a person's emotions and action
It
to
can vary. It can vary. And it can vary from somebody will take it to the stride and say, okay, tak apalah, tak ada rezeki, atau okay, never mind, it doesn't work out, to somebody going into a full on depression mode, right? And I'm not thinking, oh, I'm so sad, that kind of depression. No, no, no. I'm talking about like a clinical depression. So it really varies. And whether it's dating or ta'aruf, when you get really emotionally involved, it can get very hard to get emotionally uninvolved, or to remove and to be really to let go and really move on. It's very hard. Uh, so yeah, ta'aruf gives you that guideline. How you weave about, how you work through it is up to you and the other person. And at the end of the day, it is by the grace and the will of Allah if everything works out. If it doesn't, again, it is with the wisdom of Allah why it doesn't work out. And we should pray or ask Allah that you will be protected from any more heartbreaks and provided with something better in the future. Because in essence, that's part of the dua in istikhara, right? You ask Allah to if this decision you're about to make is good for you, make it easy for you, and make it. I forgot the dua already. Itulah dah lama tak practice. So
oh dah kahwin tu lupa
yeah,
dah kahwin tu lupa.
as one sheikh said, you need to repeat. You need to have constant practice of this of dua istikhara. But that's another topic that I won't discuss here.
Okay. And okay, so basically he said that, but unpopular opinion, bracket question mark, but date to marry is creepy. All right,
So
so
creepy.
creepy. Okay, I mean we don't know exactly what he means, but
Yeah,
what
exactly.
is actually creepy? Can benefit of the doubt lah. But for discussion, date to marry is creepy, and a lot of guys we know would feel the same way. Macam it's scary, it's intimidating. Date tapi kena fikir pasal kahwin instead of date nak main-main hanky-panky.
Yeah.
So
I think maybe he doesn't really mean creepy, or what he means by creepy is that impending impending commitment,
Impending commitment. Yeah.
impending block and massive thing called fireball called commitment. And guys are usually the most scared of commitment, or scared or intimidated by commitment.
Perhaps he means intimidating.
Yeah, correct.
That's how I understand it. And how does one go about lowering intimidation of commitment?
How do read up,
Read up.
get to know,
Yeah,
get to
usually-
know what because there's a lot of misconceptions, and there's a lot of people that can give bad advice as well.
Yep.
All right. So you should read up, learn about what are the commitments involved, and actually, hopefully, through that, you can actually learn what is it that you truly fear. Sometimes it's not so much commitment of being tied to a single person for the rest of your life. Some guys have feared the commitment of being responsible over somebody for the rest of their life. Right? It's that responsibility that they're scared of, and then coupled with the future father-in-law who's not making it easy, right? It's even worse. That's even more reason for the guy to kind of chicken out, right? So kalau dapat yang tu memang susah. But if you have to kind of break that wall within yourself, break that mental block that you have, if you have fear of commitment. I did, and I just at one point I just said, okay, basically I just took the plunge. I can't, you can't be scared. Yeah, exactly. Do your take the necessary precautions, if you will. Make the efforts. Preparation. Sorry, not precautions. Preparations. Precautions. I'm about to go on an adventure. Make the necessary preparation and effort. Make the effort towards meeting someone and getting to know someone according to the Islamic rules and guidelines, according to the Quran and Sunnah. And then if everything goes right, then go for it. Bismillah.
Yeah, it is those fear of not being ready. Usually the usual excuse is not being ready. Why not ready? I don't know. I don't feel it. Satu. Second is tak ada duit, tapi tak ada plan nak kumpul duit, kan? I know a guy daripada university. He's so serious about a particular someone kat university, dia duduk makan Maggi je, kan? And then tapi tak jadi. So I mean, so duit tak ready, so tak sure about the person, and a serious discussion is not done. Tak ada tanya soalan pasal life planning, and tak ada interview betul-betul, kan? I mean, I've shared on live before. Once I dated this person, she for years.
Lady, I assume. A woman, I assume.
This lady, and apparently she didn't, for a few years apparently she didn't like children and doesn't want to have children, and that was a deal breaker. I wish I knew that beforehand, before we started the relationship. And it was like,
go.
Why didn't we discuss this? Why didn't I ask this question before? Okay, just because she's hot and that's it. Ni zaman jahil sebelum tahu ilmu ta'aruf, sebelum apply ilmu ta'aruf.
You should have like a thingy. You should have a disclaimer or a banner apa. Ni zaman jahil.
Red card. Red card. Zaman jahil punya statement, kan? And so and unfortunately, guys and girls, men and women, don't feel it awkward or takut nak tanya soalan, serious questions like family, finance, family planning, faith, practice. A lot of serious questions that needs to be asked is not asked, and then assumptions are there, and people definitely change lepas kahwin. So sometimes for better, sometimes not. So assumptions are dangerous. Don't assume. If you have doubts, ask. If you're not sure, ask. Have that discussion. It's very important. Candid.
Betul.
I keep telling them that, oh, my friend Din, during his ta'aruf interview,
Yeah.
his wife brought, I think, 4 pages, front and back.
You use my example, huh?
Ah, but
Oh,
the example is, it's not what you answered, it's also how you answered. You know, the
Yes.
akhlak, the adab, the janggut, kan? Hello,
Oh, no.
Ryan.
Hey.
Hey.
Sit down. Sorry.
All right. So what is actually creepy? Halal? Is halal creepy? Or
Nah.
dating creepy? Which is actually creepy, kan? I mean, because the sebab not aware of what is halal and what is not, and it is perceived that dating is more fun and halal is creepy. Don't you think so? Because they're not aware that halal is not creepy at all. In fact, it's dignified. The halal ta'aruf.
Yeah, this is one of the things that we discussed during halal speed dating days when we were active, and what we realized when we did sessions. You know, the pre-COVID eras when people used to meet each other face to
Face to face.
Right? Anyway, we realized that the word halal, the term halal, is a safe space for women. They see it as, okay, this is a safe space where I can go and meet serious individuals, serious men who are willing to be committed and who aim to get married, just like how I am, just like what I'm doing. This is just like what I'm intending, is to find somebody to get married to. But for guys, however, it's not the same. For guys, they see it as the word halal, or the term halal, they see it as an intimidation factor. They
Kena
think it
nikah
will be,
terus.
they think it will kena nikah terus, number one.
Ah.
Number two, they think that everyone that come is all level ustazah, all level hafizah, right? Semua dah hafal Quran, semua boleh cakap Arabic and all that stuff.
Yang ni,
In
that is
fact,
not true, yang ni.
yani, that's not
Yang ni.
true. It's a bad
Hatta?
accent. In fact, I remember one guy in particular, after the session semua dah habis, I asked him, how is it? Okay lah. Rupa-rupanya all the perempuan kat sini normal je. Normal? What do you mean by normal? What do you expect? Kan?
Correct
In my head
species
it was
apa,
that
kan?
lah. In my head it was that, like, what do you mean normal? Like, but then I asked him, normal macam mana? What do you mean? Tak adalah. Saya ingat yang datang halal speed dating ni semua level-level ustazah. Rupanya tak. Ada yang macam alim sikit, ada yang very career oriented, ada yang memang nak jadi housewife and so on and so forth. Very, very diverse. So for guys, the word halal, not just in halal speed dating, but also in general, they think they have this perception that it is in an intimidating factor, because you have to be committed straight away. You have to have everything ready already, and this is a pressure that's being built by society. You need to have your house ready, your bank account ready, your car ready, and so on, everything ready before you even think about getting married. That's how I was raised as well.
Yeah, all boys are raised that way.
There you go. And that's true to a certain degree, but not always, and not like you have to be completely ready. No, you can negotiate. That's the beauty of ta'aruf as well. You can negotiate, and you can compromise. Both parties can compromise, and so on, right? So the word halal means different to men and women.
Yeah. I mean, it's something
Boys
that
and
we're
men.
still working on creating the awareness that halal ta'aruf, which is different from dating. There are similarities, and there are things that is completely not allowed, kan? Macam hanky-panky, berdoa-doaan, no, kan? So there are similarities and there are differences. Yes. But guys think, oh, datang nak datang event cari jodoh halal speed dating is, oh, kena datang pakai jubah dan pakai celak.
Ah,
Kan? Nikah
the guy
terus.
that the guy that I mentioned pun dia he even dressed up. Tak ada lah dress up, but he siap pakai songkok lagi. Macam kau ni nak kahwin terus ke apa?
It's like, oh.
Datang terus pakai like, no. We're not. You come as you are. They want to see who you are. They want to find out about who you are. Not so much of how you dress, whether you pakai songkok ke tak, and all that. Asal kau tutup aurat gue okay.
Kan? Be yourself, not yourself yang dalam bilik baru bangun. No. Your casual, your casual self, how you are, how you will be as a person out in public. Pergi shopping mall, what do you wear? Of course, tu aurat lah kan. And yeah, that is one of the.
Are there any like questions or anything? I don't know. I'm just looking at one screen right now. So are there like questions or views or anything?
Let me
Hope nobody comments on my background or anything, man. Again, I apologize.
Okay, ada sister tanya, perhaps, do you see the question?
Where?
Okay.
Issues with the label. What label?
Label? Halal.
The halal label?
Eating.
Yeah, I think we just mentioned that.
Please be specific. I think we just answered. I think if you wanna go a bit more specific, please
elaborate.
Type it in, elaborate. And yeah, I mean, definitely what's actually creepy is dating. Halal is the opposite of creepy because you start it's ta'aruf, halal ta'aruf. Ta'aruf basically in Arabic it means just a get to know, berkenalan kan. That's what it means in Arabic. But for the purpose of discussion, to make things clear, we call it ta'aruf. And of course, absolutely, it has to be halal lah. Kalau tak halal, buat apa?
Betul.
Kan? Tak halal tak payah buat. So, sagulah. Anyway, tak halal tak payah buat. So, dating versus ta'aruf. Just for the sake of discussion, both are getting to know. Yes. But there are parameters and limits for ta'aruf because it is to protect dignity, protect emotions. It is clear with its intention, which is berkenalan. Tujuan berkenalan ni untuk apa? Tujuan berkenalan adalah untuk berbincang perkahwinan, to talk about marriage. And there is a time limit. It's not indefinite. Yeah, it's a limit. Let's say 1 month or 3 months. It's up to you. It's subjective. But recommended not too long, because if you find something actually creepy, then you can call it off.
Yeah, and don't leave the other person hanging juga. You know, for I know this person. She is based in the Middle East. He is based in the US, and they've been getting to know each other. They've been talking online for so long, but he's sort of in the middle, or she's not sure basically of where he stands. Kejap kata yes, okay, I will come over and move to US. But then when she offered, like, she wants to go there and move there instead, for example, or at least go there to get married and then see how should we stay there or should they come back to the Middle East, dia macam reject, or dia kata no, and all that. So it's kind of red flags raised, right? So those sort of things, yeah, ta'aruf punya environment or setting can help protect you better. Yeah,
absolutely. And the time limit is very important because
sorry. The point I told the story because they asked my advice on it, and I said give him an ultimatum. If you don't if you don't make a decision, or you don't, come up with a whether you want to continue with this or not, then by a certain time or date, then let's just call it off, move on. No need to keep dragging and wasting our time. None of us are getting any younger, And if you call it off and we move on, then you can look for another person, I can look for another person, and everyone will be happy, alhamdulillah, right? So yeah.
The challenge with that is kan, when I get this message every day via WhatsApp, every day. Oh, saya berkenalan dengan seseorang tapi dia tak nak masuk Minang, dia cakap nak kumpul duit dulu, bla bla bla, dah kenalan selama setahun setengah, 2 tahun, and she says she's not getting any younger, kan. And the advice I gave is give an ultimatum. Nak ke tak, talk to my father, kan. Plan. So, their response to that is, macam, takutlah nanti dia lari macam mana. Dia lari macam mana. And kalau tak jumpa orang lain macam mana. So, how? Okay.
I don't know, you the guru?
I'm not your guru.
How?
Usually I advise ladies, sisters, love yourself first, respect yourself first, and don't let anyone bully you or push you around like this, waste your life, waste your youth. Kan?
Why are you held hostage by this guy who gonna drag on and on and on? When, let's say, he's been dragging for a year. During that time, you could have gotten to know somebody else, get in ta'aruf with them, get to know them more, get to know them well, as this guy put it here, right? And then get married within that time. I got to know my wife and had the ta'aruf session and got married, I think around 3 months. Yeah.
3 months.
Lebih kurang ah. Wait, no. It was
May
longer.
2013. So May 2013.
How do you know all these details?
I was there all along.
Creepy. You creepy.
May 2013. Kan? Because kau nikah July 2013. May or April?
Yeah. We got married in July, and but I met her first, or we had the first ta'aruf session. I believe it was the December the year before, so around 7 to 8 months.
Of course, she was chaperoned by her cousin, her friend.
The first time it was her friend and her sister right in front of me, and I was like, oh, is this how ta'aruf is going to go? And I was there alone. I thought, in public, okay. It was in public. It was at a restaurant with a lot of people there. Again, pre-COVID times where restaurants are fully packed. so yeah, it was public.
List of questions. Question 1.
Okay, fine. You want me to go through that story? Okay. So what happened was, I came. We first met. That was our second meeting, actually. The first meeting, we just met, asked the basic questions. You know,
itu yang kat office tu.
Life. Yes. You didn't have to say that, but yes.
Yeah, I already told the story in public. It's like, it's a glass office, glass wall, glass door, and I was sitting outside. It's like, yeah, man, go, you can do it. I was gonna do it. Then.
I hope my wife is not watching. If she's watching, I'm in deep trouble. Anyway, yeah, that was the first time, but it was only for a few hours, one or 2 hours. I asked Zuri to stay after office, and I thought there would be lesser people in the office, but turned out at that particular day, because somebody probably said like, Dennis is going to meet somebody, talk to somebody, like, oh god. But anyway, so we met the first time. It was a couple of hours, and it was very nerve-wracking, very nervous for me. It's not the first time I met her per se. I've had some interaction before, but it was like very formal. Assalamualaikum, brother. Assalamualaikum, sister. We need your help with this, because she was a volunteer at the office where we work. So yeah, it was very intimidating, but I had certain things that I wanted to know, and certain basic questions that I want to get covered definitely in the first meeting. And at the end of that, same thing with her. And then at the end of the meeting, I was so nervous to ask this question. So what did I ask? Do you think we can meet again? right? And that was so nervous for me because I wanted it. I was scared of rejection. I was scared of she's going to say no. Like, oh, now I gotta, like, okay, fine. But for me, I wanted it to be a yes, and alhamdulillah, she said yes. Let's meet again. So let's continue this conversation. So the second time we met, and I had only about 5-6 questions in my head, and things that I want to cover, and more importantly, I want to know if we can have a conversation going. Like, do we have that chemistry to have a conversation going, and especially without one of my friend waiting outside the window.
Who is that bozo?
I don't know. Bouncer. So yeah. So when she came, it was with her best friend and her sister, and they sat right, across the table. I expected like she was gonna sit with, the same table as me, and the friend or whoever she bring will be another table away from us, so we can have a private conversation. But no, at first they were sitting all together, and I thought, okay, this is how it's gonna work. I didn't say that out loud. I was too scared to say anything out loud other than smile and say how are you and all that. And then yeah. After that, the friend and the sister went to another table, alhamdulillah. And then she took out a piece of paper. It had 20 questions on it,
20
right? On one side.
on
And
one
the other
side. 20 questions
The other
per
side,
page.
another 20 questions. So I had to answer one by one, and a lot of those questions, after we got married, a lot of those questions, she said, was not the answer she was looking for, but it was the way that I answered that showed my level of maturity. These are her words, not mine. Showed my level of maturity, understanding, confidence, and whatever that she liked. So she was more drawn to that, and can see my line of thought, or my maturity. She liked that more than some of the answers that I gave, right? Even a question about polygamy, which was interesting. So yeah, so alhamdulillah, we met a couple of times. After that, I gave the father a call, and everything went well, and we're married today, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Kan. And masa soal jawab tu, nervous tak?
Gila nervous, of course lah.
Kan.
I was damn nervous, but I had to macam, okay, I know you're nervous, but I had to kind of keep in mind that, okay, it's just, let's see if we can get a conversation going. Of course it's nervous. And even after that, after I got back, I thought about some of the things, and it's even more nervous and nerve-wracking. I was happy, but very nervous at the same time. But that's part of ta'aruf. That's part of marriage. It is a serious commitment, yes, but
Absolutely. But some folks would feel macam, alah, too nervous of a moment to go through, so dia orang tak tanya soalan yang penting. So that's dangerous. And
yeah, well, it's different for different people, I would say. So then I know this guy. Alhamdulillah, they got married. But this guy was very adamant about polygamy. Let's just say that. For the first time they met in the ta'aruf, he already mentioned that. I was like, dude, at least try to cover scale lah. At least scale it down a bit. You don't have to be so adamant and so confident about it, But at first it didn't really. It had a rocky start, but after that they it worked out, alhamdulillah, and they're happily married now, alhamdulillah. So yeah, it's different for different people. For some, they're very certain, and they know what they want, and they just and it's hard to change their mind. For some people, they know that they're getting into this, and they know they want to discuss and for lack of a better word, negotiate and see where they can compromise, where they can compromise, where they can't compromise, and so on, right? Both for the guy and the girl, because some girls, for example, can't compromise on living arrangements or
Polygamy,
working arrangements or
working, career.
polygamy, right? So on.
And I usually remind the men and women, if this is a point, this is something, if it, especially if it's important to you, you should really discuss this. You want to or you don't want to, you plan not to. And it's very important.
What?
It has to be discussed. Plan not to polygamy.
Right. Yeah, of course.
It has to be discussed. Jangan takut tanya. That's the problem. Kalau takut tanya, you left to assumptions and anxiety. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
you might not want to ask in the first meeting.
Of course.
Maybe ask more pertinent questions, or more more about life goals and living arrangements and apa ni, career
Thoughts,
arrangements,
interests.
children, and so on, right?
Icebreaker questions.
Icebreaker questions. Then in the second, third meeting, then get their thinking about the polygamy, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So true. And one of the things that usually I point out is you have to know what you want first. Write it down. And if
Yeah.
you don't know what you want, you tak kenal apa yang you nak, you tak boleh perkenalkan diri dekat your potential calon tu. So susahlah dia nak kenal dan cinta, tak kenal maka tak cinta. So if you don't know what you want, kan, you can't communicate what you want, then anything goes. That is dangerous. That's your own.
Okay, then let me ask you this then. What if I don't know what I want, but I will know what I want when I see it? Or I will know what I don't want when I see it?
And then you have not figured out yourself. Anything goes. That I would say you are the red flag. You have a red flag.
You're
Habis tu kau doa apa? Apa-apa je lah, kan? Macam aku selalu bagi contoh lah, macam kau pergi restoran and then waiter tu tanya, nak apa kak? Apa-apa je lah. Lepas tu dia bawa x-ray. I didn't ask for this. You got an x-ray. You say apa-apa, kan? There you go. So janganlah apa-apa. You are the red flag. You have a red flag. You have a red flag. Alright, okay, awesome. So we've discussed a bit about creepy, and then let's go a bit into
second paragraph. I date to know you well. Hey, where you going?
Yeah. So this is someone
go back up. Yeah, good. Oh, that was his
original.
The original one. Okay.
This is someone commented. This lady, she, for the benefit of people on Telegram, I'm going to read it out. So this lady commented back on the original tweet is, dia cakap, I date to marry, not for a temporary relationship. I date with your flaws. I date with your insecurities. I date with your weakness. Yeah, true, good. At the same time, nak reiterate balik, there's a difference between dating and ta'aruf. Kan? One is Islamic, one is conventional. So you can watch the earlier videos to understand kalau you baru join. Okay, it's good. Her intention, date to marry, good, but the dating itself, the method, to something that you need to differentiate dating and ta'aruf. But your intention, at least that's clear. What I would suggest is to put a timeline. How long are you going to discuss about marriage? And be clear. And be clear. Katakan you niat hati nak kahwin, you kenalan this guy, but this guy macam tak sure, kan? And then he might lead you on dating bertahun-tahun. Last he breaks up with you, kahwin orang lain. Happens a lot. A lot. I get these messages every day, at least once a day. So happens too often. Sometimes the guy is I don't want to use the word, but he's basically just waiting for something better to come along. If you are not stern with him, kan? Betul tak?
Yeah, you are the spare tire. You are the okay lah. You are the I'll settle with you.
Yeah, it's like
you are the what you call
backup
that?
girl. Kalau is that word? Yeah, backup girl. Kalau tak ada, if nothing better comes along, then yeah, why not you? Can, since you're there,
Yeah,
that's the dangerous
you're
part.
the why not you instead of I want you.
Kan, dia tak
Oh,
sure.
whoa, banyak. Hey,
Oh,
let's go back to the tweet from the guy. I want to pick
okay.
up one point here. He says that I date you to know you well because I'm attracted to you. Only along the way I will decide to marry you or not. Essentially, that's the same in the ta'aruf. Cuma the end goal here is, yes, I want to get married. Sama je lah. It's basically roughly the same. It's just when he use date, it has other connotations to it. And because I'm attracted to you, and that's one thing important for ladies to know as well, that guys, they attraction, they are attracted to you. Looks bring you together. For a guy, bring you together, and your personality, your quirks, your insecurities, your flaws keep you together, right? Your positives and your negatives, your strength and your weaknesses will keep you together, because that's what couples do, right? The looks, it brings you together. That's just, guys are just naturally like that. They are more physical based, right? Physical beings. They like what they see, then they want to investigate further, right?
And of
And
course,
yeah,
actually, Islam allows
yeah.
various forms of attraction, kan? Macam physical, personality, uh, intelligence. It's allowed.
This does not contradict with Islam whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. But how it's expressed and how the ta'aruf is done,
Yeah,
that's
what you
that's
do
what.
with it is a different story. Yes.
True. Macam, if I just go up to a girl and say, "Hey, I'm attracted to you,"
Oh,
well,
is that your pickup line, Zuri?
no, my old pickup line was, "You look like my future ex-girlfriend." Anyway, to zaman jahil. Such a douche punya move. Anywho, um, all right, I need to know you well. Yes, of course, you need to know a person well during ta'aruf, and there is a hemah dia, dia ada tata tertib dia, kan? Like asking right questions, you're a chaperone, tak berdodoan. It's best if the wali is informed, ask for kebenaran wali. Okay, let me point this out. You can chime in, Din. I'm gonna say it as it is. Tanggungjawab untuk mencarikan jodoh untuk seorang wanita adalah tanggungjawab seorang wali. Unfortunately, wali, one, don't know that that's their amanah. Two, they know but they don't care. Three, they care but they don't know how to do it. Four, dia orang takut nak tolong carikan jodoh sebab takut kalau silap nanti kena blame. So it's this, in Islam it's made easy. Memang tanggungjawab wali untuk carikan jodoh untuk anak dia. The system is there, but it's not being practiced. This is how basically this whole problem starts. Otherwise, we don't have to do what we do. Kan? Basically, we are assisting wali to do their carry out their amanah. And yeah, man, I'm trying to put a way to tell the wali it's your job, actually, not mine. I'm trying to assist. And how do I tell the wali? I mean, how do the ladies who's listening, how do they tell their wali that, Papa, this is your job?
Well, frankly speaking, yeah, it is. It is the responsibility of the wali to look. That's what wali means, as a guardian, to look for somebody suitable for your daughter. But you got to be realistic, because you have to be realistic to look at the times and the society and the culture that we live in today. That might not be the norm. It is not the norm anymore. yeah, you might want to reintroduce or remind people that is the role, that is the key aspect. But at the same time, I think it's far too common of a practice that the person, the lady, find the the suitable spouse for themselves. That it's because, and also because of the points that you mentioned, the 4 points that you mentioned, it becomes hard to reinstate it, that fact. But Islam does not disagree with this. Does not say Islam. There's nowhere in Islam, in the Quran or Sunnah, that says it's haram for you to find a spouse yourself. No way. There's no such thing. And it does not make it wajib upon the wali to find somebody. It's wajib for the wali to approve, right? To get the approval and the blessings of the wali. Yes, right. But not, he does not have to be the one to look for it. No. Look for the spouse. Would it help? Depends. Again, depends, because, and this is cultural problem as well that has caused this, because of forced marriage, right? And not arranged marriage, forced marriage, where the father now, maybe may or may not realize the fact that he is wali and he's responsible, but he, because of his own interests, not because it's the best for the daughter necessarily, but he thinks it's best, but it's not what they want, right? It's not what the daughter wants, right? Or it's like something, I'll give an example. For example, like a father forcing the daughter to marry this guy who is well off, who is rich, and he's also the cousin, your cousin or your second cousin. You want to keep it in the family. You want to keep,
Okay, macam Mustafa Kamal movie.
yes, something like that. And this happens not here, not so much in Malaysia or in this region. It happens a lot in the Middle East and South Asia, because of different family names, different tribes, and so on. All that sort of play into aspect. Plays a role into the whole issue. So the problem of forced marriage does not help the situation, and that's why I that's why I say it depends on the relationship that you have, that the lady has with the father, that the girl has with the father, and vice versa, the father has with the lady, right? If they're close, if the girl herself asks the dad that I am at my wits, can you help me? Or that you know me very well, I don't want to go out, I don't want to waste my time, or I want to get your approval early. So can you look for somebody for me, or a lot of people, etc. If the dad is if they have that relationship and the dad is trustworthy, is not going to be like, even if the dad recommends somebody that, let's say it's his boss's son, for example, right? So recommend, but this is recommend only. They just recommend only. If it doesn't work out, no problem. The father should not have an issue, right? If it doesn't work out. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, no worries. Find another one, right? But again, it depends. It depends on the relationship that you have with your father. Some ladies, unfortunately, don't have a good relationship with their father. So to ask a wali, to find a husband for them, might be counterproductive. Might be the wrong solution. Even if,
Okay.
yeah, maybe, again, it depends. I don't want to give a blanket statement and say yes, it is your responsibility, you should do it. It's not really the case. You have to look at the society and the times we live in.
And also the capacity of the parents, because the one sister told me, she said her parents tried to help, but didn't know to, so tersilap langkah, they accidentally tried to introduce her to someone's husband simply because they were in the same masjid or usrah group. So that was a bad experience for her,
There
and
you
because
go.
the parents did not do their diligence
There you go.
properly. So yep. So like I mentioned is, tahu tu amanah tapi tak tahu macam mana nak buat. So that's another thing. And of course, you mentioned just now forced marriage. Oh, man, how could is forced marriage allowed?
No, it's haram in Islam.
So yeah, let's make that clear. Forced marriage is haram. Arranged marriage is different. When
Yes,
someone asks me,
arranged
is
marriage is
arranged
different.
marriage uh, in
Arranged
Islam
marriage
allowed?
is
Yeah.
yes. Arranged marriage is basically what we're doing. We know you, and we know this other person, and we think that you might be a fit for each other. So I gave each other's contact. You contact each other, and you get to know each other. If it works out, alhamdulillah. If it doesn't work out, khair, inshallah, move on to the next. Right? The choice is up to you. Okay, the choice is up to the guy and or the girl. Okay, forced marriage is like what I mentioned before. The father comes back and says, you have to marry this person. He is from our family. He's a cousin. He's rich. He got his own house. He's this and that and that. And you need to get married to him. If you don't, I disown you and all that. So basically, that's force. You don't have a choice. You don't even know who this guy is. So in some cases, I believe in South Asia, in India, that region, they didn't even meet the guy until like days before the wedding, like that sort of deal. That forced marriage is haram in Islam.
Clearly, when a non-Muslim asked me this question, why do Muslim practice arranged marriage? Okay, so how I explain it is usually forced marriage is completely forbidden. Arranged marriage, you do it too. The lady arranged the wedding, the guy pays for it.
Yeah, matchmaker.
So gurau,
Matchmaker, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Forced marriage is because in Islam, the decision to marry for the lady, the decision to marry the guy that you're meeting, that you know, is up to you. At the end of the day, it's
Ladies'
up to you,
choice. Ladies'
right?
choice. Tulis ladies' choice.
Ladies' choice.
Ladies' choice.
You will take advice from your friends, your family, your father, your mother, your brother, your uncle, your sister, so on and so forth. You might take advice from them, and then you take you make the effort and you make istikhara. But at the end of the day, bottom line, the choice is yours. When the choice is not yours, that is a forced marriage, right? When the choice is because, or even like, if your parents make you feel guilty, right? Have put you in a guilt trip that you should marry because we are in a difficult financial situation and he's rich, he can help you out and also help us out. If you feel guilty, that's also not, I don't want to say it's haram or halal, but I don't see that as a great start to a marriage. So yeah, in a way that could also be forced marriage because you're kind of
Pressure
you're
into
doing it, but yeah, pressured into it.
Okay. So this line, it says, I date you to know you well. So what does it mean? What do you think he means, I date you to know you well? I mean, how well can you get to know someone before
Sama
marriage?
je.
Okay.
In ta'aruf, sama je. You are meeting each other to know the other person better, right? To know the other person well. It also depends on how long the ta'aruf is, right? Because I am attracted, I did you to know you well because I am attracted to you. And yeah, this I explained just now. Only along the way will I decide to marry you or not. Yeah, that's the key difference.
Yeah, and
Because
please realize,
what it seems like here is at the start of it, there's no intention of getting married,
yeah,
but
it
you
didn't
want to
start with
get
intention.
involved. You want to get romantically or emotionally involved. Then you decide to get married or not. In Islam, you have that decision to get married or not, get to know the person, then get emotionally and romantically involved. That way, your heart grows fonder even more after marriage compared to if the romance was there already before. Because once after marriage, there's nothing really new that you want to explore romantically, right? Emotionally. But after marriage, uh, in the taruf, when you're not romantically involved, after marriage, when pretty much everything is now halal, you can now explore a lot more. You can have a lot more fun, and it's a lot more enjoyable that way.
Perhaps it wasn't very clear. Okay, sebelum kahwin, it's you should not invest emotionally and romantically. After kahwin,
Yeah, I mean, it's not
go all
like
in.
totally cut off emotionally.
I mean, of
That's
course, there are
almost impossible for a
tertaruh
human being.
harapan sikit, but you manage it lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you manage it. You don't give away everything. You don't give your whole heart away like a cheesy 90s romantic sitcom. Um,
Which movie are you
you
thinking about?
huh?
Which movie are you thinking about?
I don't know at this point.
10
They're
Things I
all the
Hate About
same.
You.
All the same to me. Yeah, the key difference is you don't get emotionally and romantically involved beforehand, before marriage, and you do only after marriage. As the famous saying goes, cinta selepas kahwin, right?
Selepas nikah.
That is a lot more, you value that a lot more compared to if you already have it before and then you just there's new things. I won't say there's nothing new, but after marriage it's like an extension of your current relationship, a small extension of the current relationship that you have. It's just more binding right now. But with following the Islamic method, at least I find that the romance that you have after marriage, you appreciate it a lot more, and you get a lot. You are deeply involved with it compared to if you had it before. And it's hard
Lebih
to
boleh
explain it, but
dihargai kan, the berkat, the feeling of
yes,
berkat tu.
yes,
It's something I've been trying to explain, but you just feel it. That is berkat. You did things the right way, and alhamdulillah, and the berkat feeling is there. It's like that's beyond love
yep.
between humans. That's love from above. And sometimes people ask, kalau tak dating, that's my diaper changing signal. Kejap.
Oh, okay.
So some people comment that kalau tak kenal tak dating macam mana nak kenal perangai dia macam mana, kan? Kenal melalui email or just WhatsApp or just through questionnaire je, macam nak kenal dengan dia. So I think we have to say this, learning from experience of orang yang dah berkahwin dan date. People change lepas nikah. It's not the same person. Dia perangai lain sebelum nikah and selepas nikah. As a wife, as a husband, that person perangai lain. Sometimes better, sometimes not. So it's not exactly the same person you're dating. That's the thing. Something that has to be said. Siapa tak setuju
Agreed.
tak apa. Kan? We get this a lot from married men yang dating, lepas tu kahwin, and it's like, she's
like
not the
this,
same
man.
person I dated. It's like,
Yeah, it's the same. It's like this. Men who get married expect their wife to stay the same forever, and women expect their husbands to change soon,
to get better.
to change for the better in the future. And a lot of times, it doesn't work that way. Their wife naturally change both emotionally and physically especially after children. Guys, boys will be boys, right? They might learn or they might step up in terms of responsibility and all that, but sometimes nasty habits might just stay, right? I, for example, I don't think my wife is watching and she's not within earshot, so I can say this. I, for example, still tend to leave my laundry different places, you know, and or try leave my wallet and my keys at different places, and then I keep asking, where's my wallet? Where's my keys? I forgot where I put them. That's like our my 8 year struggle, and my wife gets really annoyed, but you know, she says she expects me to change in the sense where why don't you just put your stuff all in one place? Like I still do it, just leave it all over the place. But that's just me, right? But again, just that's just a small example of how guys perceive their spouse, their wife after marriage, and how ladies, perceive their husband after marriage as well. They think they will change some of the habits. No, they don't, not necessarily. And the husband might think that your wife will stay like this forever, this hot chick forever. No, she will change.
That's true. So true. I mean, this is getting reports from practically every man, husbands that
Yes,
dated, and then
yes, this is from
kahwin.
experience.
Yep, their experience.
Their experience, our
Their
experience.
Can and yeah, people change, people grow, right? And okay, just last before I go have to change the diapers. Only along the way I will decide to marry you. I think we've covered this already. It's because ta'aruf, you decide to discuss marriage. If sekufu, then proceed, kahwin, nikah. Kan? You commit to discuss marriage, not commit to nikah terus. No, it's different. That's ta'aruf. This is ta'aruf lah.
Mm.
Kalau dating is like this lah. The expectation is like this. Test drive dulu, tengoklah nak beli ke tidak. And then tak nak beli, then you go test drive another car. So, and that's basically how a lot of guys think. I'm sorry, I have to tell you how it is. Okay, a lot of guys think that way, and you know,
But why?
it's
We also get that as well. Why you guys like that? I don't know. Guys are guys.
you know, women do that too, but not not as much as guys.
Of course.
Yeah. So, all right, okay. We hope that you. Thank you for
Are there any
joining.
questions?
Any questions? Karena I get because people are very shy to ask questions in social media. They would WhatsApp me, and then I will respond to that in private. And then sometimes
Just read it out. Don't have to read the name.
I can't because all my gadgets are on. Otherwise, I have
Aduh.
4 screens in front of me. I feel like
Spectre gadget fail lah.
Inspector Gadget. So, okay. If you have any questions or you want to ask Bro Dane, WhatsApp me. Maybe I'll try to grab Dane last minute again. Hopefully not last minute because we have to do some pre-dinner planning.
Yeah, I call it preemptive house chores. So I gotta prepare, gotta do some house chores in order for my wife to agree to basically leave all the kids with her.
Yeah, help her prepare. Sebab sayang isteri.
Betul. Oh yeah, this thing is being recorded. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, sebab sayang isteri. Alright. And of course, as a husband, you have to expect yourself to participate in child rearing and everything, all the house chores. And house chores are actually a lot of it. Sunnah, washing the plates, taking out the garbage, so many more. I think that's a topic for another discussion. And thank you so much for joining, Dan.
No problem. Next time I'll try to have better, funky, multicolored lighting in the background, but I don't. So maybe next time I'll figure it out. Maybe.
Alright. So usually aku bagi homework. Some homework are just for a catharsis punya activity, exercise.
Okay.
For them to luahkan perasaan, and some homework is more productive, as in like write tulis surat cinta to yourself. Why do I give such homeworks? Is because I notice If I just give technique dan strategy, which is so easy, it's just like 5 things. One, cari among your friends and network or social media or dating apps. But duit dengan berhemah, ta'aruf, kalau sekufu, nikah. Basically, just a few steps. But if they don't know how to do it the ta'aruf, the syariah way, and there'll be a lot of confusion lah, macam ni lah, macam this person, or these questions will come up, and a lot of confusions will happen. So, and also at the same time, why I give such homeworks is because need to remind them that to love themselves first, to respect themselves first, not to be treated like a practice girl. Kan? A lot of these women that I interact with, they're highly educated. They're doing their masters, they're doing their doctorate. Unfortunately, they don't think themselves well enough. Yeah, they're smart women, and actually tough in a lot of areas in their life. But when it comes to dealing with men, they're not putting their foot down, not being firm. And that's why this exercise that I give is to remind them to love yourself, be firm. Firm tak semestinya garang, tak semestinya cengeng, ya. It's a kedah word.
Okay.
Firm, respect yourself. So if you want someone to respect you, you respect yourself first. If you want someone to love you, love yourself first. So this exercise biasanya I've been giving non-stop the past week and a half is tulis surat cinta to yourself. And apparently that is the hardest exercise I've given from the feedback. It's because they have never
Wrote a letter.
Wrote a letter. They have never told themselves that they love themselves.
Yeah.
Kan?
I would have issues with that as well. I wouldn't say issues, but I would say that would be intimidating as well for me. Because because everyone has their regrets in life, and when you want to write a love letter, you want to write a letter to yourself, right? Yeah, it becomes intimidating, and because all those mistakes and those regrets that you did start to come up.
Yeah.
And
jadi
in fact,
macam
sir, you mentioned this.
Uh-huh.
My wife, as part of her university exercise 10 years ago, they asked all the students to write a letter and to put it in a bottle, in a capsule somewhere, and then read it later. And then 10 years have passed, and recently, in this past week or two, they sent her an email. This was the letter that you wrote to yourself, and she cried, because it just shows the different perception of yourself and how you have matured and evolved throughout those years. Because 10 years ago, you were a very different person, right? Most likely. So yeah, I think that's a very good exercise.
Yeah,
Don't have to wait 10 years to read it.
It is a bit of an rather intimidating exercise because it's a lot of self-exploration and a lot of accountability required. So yeah, so tonight aku bagi exercise yang senang sikit, which is share your creepy. The love letter, I keep saying, don't write that love letter to me. It's to yourself. Nanti I don't know what to explain to my wife. Okay. So the homework for tonight is share your creepy dating story if you feel like it, if you feel safe. And sometimes you just need to share it with someone. I'm here to. You can WhatsApp me, and I can address it. I won't mention name, of course.
Can I do that? Can I do that to you?
You wanna say it to me right now? Or just tell me, man.
My creepy dating story with you.
Okay.
I'll WhatsApp you.
With this number, this is my Nak Jodoh number.
Oh. I think it's good if both guys and girls share these creepy dating stories, so that also we can Zuri, not we, Zuri can can also highlight to other people what are some red flags you should watch out for. Because sometimes
Yeah.
it takes another person to highlight something, then you realize, hey, wait a minute, that should be a red flag, or it should be known to others. So yeah,
Ambil
so
ambil
I
iktibar lah.
definitely encourage this. You
Yeah.
should share your creepy. That's the theme of tonight, I guess. Dating story.
So everyone can
to
boleh ambil iktibar. Of course, I won't mention names, kan? The only names I've mentioned is Din.
Without my consent.
Well, you did the right thing, a good thing, and they took iktibar. I keep saying it's not how you answer your ta'aruf questions. It's not just what you answer. It's also how you answer it. Kan? Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, bro.
No worries. Happy to do this.
All right.
Please
So
don't do the lastminute.com again. That's all I ask.
I want it yesterday.
Yeah, in fact, I do have a deadline yesterday.
Okay. Because this thing just popped up to me. Someone, a sister, she said that this thing, there's so much drama around this. And I said, okay, maybe I should address this, and maybe I should bring Din in, get his input. Thanks for joining, Din.
No
Right? Usually,
worries.
before we leave, we close with a doa, which is this: because you want yang terbaik for your parents as well. And semoga lagi afdal, kan, Allah nak kita do things not just for us, kita nak kahwin because of us, but kita nak kahwin untuk our parents punya happiness as well, insyaAllah. So that's why it involves minta pasangan menjadi menantu yang baik pada ibu bapaku. That's why I put that there. Right. So bismillah, sisters, type amin. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, aku minta pasangan yang menjadi menantu yang baik pada ibu bapaku, yang disayangimu untuk mendapat keredaan-Mu, berganding bahu bersama ke jannah-Mu, ya Allah. Amin.
Amin.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so send me your homework. This is my WhatsApp number. Okay, thanks, Zin. All the
No
best.
worries. Jazakallah khair for having me.
Wa iyyak.
See you next time, inshallah. Assalamualaikum. Thank you also, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to my ramblings and my stories. So yeah, Jazakallah khair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam siaran.
Salam siaran.
Salam siaran. Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Ah,